YouTube? It's your girl Miss T and my favorite and only daughter in the whole wide world, Jessica. And today we will be reviewing the new film, Queen and Slim. So, Queen and Slim was written by Lena Waithe and directed by Lena Waithe. And I did have my reservations about this film at first because there was a casting issue that went on, and the casting call was for a field slave looking woman. I'm not, totally certain on how true that is, but if that's the case, it did put a bad taste in my mouth, because surely there are better adjectives to describe darker skinned women. So we have actors Daniel Kuluuya, y'all know him from Get Out, and I think he was in Black Panther as well. And we have newcomer Jodie Turner-Smith playing Queen. So in summary, the film follows Queen and Slim on a forgettable first date together in Ohio. A black man and a black woman are pulled over for a minor traffic infraction. The situation escalates with sudden and tragic results when the man kills the police officer in self-defense. Terrified and in fear for their lives, the man, a retail employee, and the woman, a criminal defense lawyer, are forced to go on the run. But the incident is captured on video and goes viral, and the couple unwittingly become a symbol of trauma, terror, grief, and pain for people across the country. So Queen and Slim are pulled over for a minor traffic infraction. Queen is playing too much. She has Slim's phone and he reaches over to get it and he swerves inside the lane. He's pulled over by this cop, and in this scene you can just really see the bias that some officers have towards black people. Queen and Slim did everything that they were asked, but it seemed like this officer was just hell bent on finding something wrong. They had to be drunk. They had to have a warrant, weapon. He searched the car without a warrant or probable cause. It was like, it just wasn't right. Like, these black people have to be doing something, and I'm gonna find out what it is. So what do you think about that?
I think, especially when you get to the video, it still goes into the part where it's like they're in cahoots with each other. Cause they cut out.
And Slim?
No, the cops. They cut out the entire part where the cop pulled out the gun.
Of course.
And attacked him.
Well, we already know the cops. I'm surprised they released any footage at all. But like you said, the footage that they did release, all you see is basically the cop getting shot. I think they showed a little bit
shot
of
her getting shot.
Right.
But it was still them fighting on the ground.
Right. The thing I did like about that scene, as uncomfortable as it was, we get to see how black people
don't know the law. Well,
Queen knew the law.
That's what I'm saying. It was two different perspectives, because Slim just let them search the car.
Yeah,
but she's like, you can't do that.
Right. True. But what I was getting at was her tone, and both of their tones, I think, is what got them in more trouble with the officer. I think in his eyes, they were being uppity. They were asking too many questions instead of just doing what they were told. They made a couple of snarky comments, which, in my opinion, if someone who is not of color would have done the same thing, he wouldn't have been so quick to keep messing with them.
I mean,
they was too
what
uppity.
made him tick was he was just like, it's cold. So it's
right, he was being uppity. It was kind of like, don't say that to me, boy. I'm the officer. You you kneel on the ground and do as you told. So the bias there, I really liked that scene. It did a lot to move the story forward. What were your first thoughts about Queen and her character and how she acted on that date?
She reminds me of
Don't say nobody's name. Don't my initial thoughts of Queen, I thought she was a bitch, you know? I thought she was real snarky,
Bougie.
real bougie, you know, kind of like she was too good to be even on that date. But, you know, you must be a little bit desperate to be on this date. And on top of that, the person that she chose for all intents and purposes was a Dusty. Did you think he was Dusty?
I didn't think he was Dusty. I thought he was Afrocentric.
You thought, I mean, he's a good guy, but he's a grown man, I think, working at
Did I say where he was working?
Costco. I think it was.
He was
Yes, he was at Costco. And I'm not trying to bash, you know, people that work at Costco, but Queen is a lawyer in this film. So, I mean, I guess she was bored or times is hard. Actually, she said she was having, did I scare you? Actually, she said she had a hard day because one of her clients got the death penalty. Yeah, got executed. So, she's already having a bad day, and as we all know, the day progressively gets worse for Queen and Slim. Queen and Slim are an unlikely pair. I mean, she's a lawyer, he works at Costco. She seems more like a, you call them conventionalist? Is that what you call them?
I don't know what you're aiming for.
She don't know what I'm aiming for, but she ain't down with all of that old time religion and old time thinking. She pulls no punches. She says it like it is. Whereas Slim, he's more reserved, God-fearing. He's just a nice guy. You know, he's just a nice guy. Just trying to make it out here. And I think that, you know, the following events, if they had not have happened, they would have never made it to a second date. And in fact, I think she actually says that she wouldn't go out with him again. What did you think about the ride or die thing? Do you believe in the whole ride or die chick ideology? Is it too much struggle love?
I don't think it's struggle love.
Not the way he described it. He just said someone who loves me, what did he say, unconditionally?
Unconditionally, and will have a legacy.
Okay, that I can see. But, you know, a lot of times these guys use ride or die as an excuse to cheat on you, beat on you.
Ain't none of that.
Participate in struggle love, you know, poverty. So I kind of dig that definition of ride or die. So that was cool with me. That was cool with me. I watched an interview with Lena Waithe on The Breakfast Club, and she actually said that Slim was supposed to be the Martin Luther King type character, and Queen was supposed to be Malcolm X. But
I can see that.
You can see that?
I can see
okay.
that.
But by the end of the film, they actually switch. Which is, the reason why I can see it is because Martin Luther King was more God-fearing. Everything has a perfect purpose. If we just act right, everything will be okay. We won't have any problems. Whereas Malcolm X was more straightforward, pulled no punches by any means necessary. And I could totally see that in Queen's character.
That's how she was the entire film.
Straightforward.
She was like, no, we finna do this. This is wrong. This is how they gonna act. Do you want to go to jail? This is wrong. Don't trust them.
Right. Didn't trust nobody. She didn't pull no punches as far as what she said, whether it hurt your feelings or not. And like you said, she knew the law. She knew the consequences. She knew how it really is. And that's basically how they end up on the run. And all of the things that they encounter on the run shows you how Queen and Slim kind of changed their perspectives on life. Slim's Martin Luther King persona is lost by what he endures at the hands of these police officers and all of the people they meet and the injustices. And it kind of makes you think and realize why both Martin Luther King and Malcolm X started to shift.
I do feel like it was part of their upbringing also. Like Slim came from a good family.
True.
He was God-fearing. He didn't have no reason
just like
to
Martin
feel
Luther
like
King.
exactly. He didn't have no reason to feel like people was out to get him.
Right, and Malcolm X's father was murdered. We see what you did there, Lena Waithe. Okay, it's all coming together. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the people, and this is one of the things that I really enjoyed about this movie. When they go on the run, they encountered the first guy that they hit.
The sheriff.
Oh, the sheriff.
They encountered the sheriff.
They encountered the sheriff, which was really significant because he was white.
And he took it into account when he realized who they were. He was like, I know that some of these police officers go too far. He was like, I don't blame you at all.
Right.
So
it's like you get two perspectives. You know, you got the good cops and the bad cops. And we all know that there's good cops out there, but sometimes we just encounter the bad ones. So the next person they meet is just, you know, any hood guy from any hood USA, you know, any town USA. And it's amazing to see how even though those people didn't exactly know everything that went on, they were supportive of them. And it's really beautiful to see black people supporting each other. And it does help that they just got done killing a cop. A bad cop, actually.
exactly.
We find out this particular character tells Queen and Slim that that cop was responsible for killing
A
father for no reason, right?
walking his daughter to school.
Right. So that's the main thing. Like, why is this cop even still out on the street and able to harass more black people? But
And
that's
people
how it
thought
go.
that the reason they shot them was in retaliation
Right.
for his family. So then there's all these riots going on and people thinking it was
It's for a cause.
like a cause.
Unknowingly, Queen and Slim have become the leaders of a movement, you know, on accident. So the next person that they meet is Uncle Earl, which is played by Bokeem Woodbine. And I think we all got a Uncle Earl or a grandpa. I mean, you know. Uncle Earl is a pimp, and I mean, I think scenes like this where they met her uncle was really for the culture. It was really for black people because we could really identify with people like that. He had a house full of women, you know, and just the way he talked, his mannerisms.
Yeah, cars.
Yeah, the car, just the whole thing, just, it was for the culture. So I really like that. Uncle Earl was off the hook.
Yeah, all the jumpsuits.
He had a Gucci fit. He had a Gucci jumpsuit. So who did they meet next? Oh,
Before they went to the white people's house, they met the mechanic and a little boy.
oh, wow. How did I skip over that?
Yeah.
Along the way, the car breaks down. They meet a mechanic, and he has a son. And I was getting ready to say with the last person that as much as we like to see people support other black people, this particular person turned into a fanatic. And I think that happens a lot of times. Like, as black people, we may have these causes, let's just say Black Lives Matter, and we'll get some fanatics in there who do some crazy, extreme, great word, extreme things, and it just taints the entire cause. Yeah. So that was good. That was good to have that piece in there too.
It didn't help that the little boy, the mechanic's son, had talked to Queen and Slim
right
after, because there was a riot.
So it looks like they're in cahoots.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the way it goes sometimes. You know, the cause can just take a total left turn by no fault of their own. Who did they meet next? Was it the white couple?
Yeah, so
the couple, which was also another refreshing thing, back to just having a network of people, and they just so happened to be white, and they was down. They was down for the cause.
I don't know about his wife, but he was down.
His wife was not down for the cause.
like,
Nah, she ain't want no parts of that.
Yeah, they had to spend the night in jail. That's why their house was empty, because the police officer was like, tell me where they are and we'll let y'all go.
Oh,
so that's why they was under there for forever.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they went to jail for that.
The next thing was the black police officer, which, you know, even though he's supposed to be down with the boys in blue, he let him go because he understand.
Yeah, they was out there calling him boy and
yeah. So it makes me wonder sometimes why some black people want to be cops, because I think there's just so much of a conflict of interest. But at any rate, he was down for the cause. Let's talk about the last person that they met.
So they finally get to Florida and they had a plan to go to Cuba. He never mentioned how out of all of the people that they met, they all mentioned what they were doing.
Well, you said that you gave us something to believe in. The last guy with the gold fronts. So it's like at first you think that this person is down with the cause, but in every cause there is a Judas, and he turns out to be the Judas. And you hate to see black people turn on each other for $1. That really broke my heart, because out of all the people that they came across, white, black, whatever, they all supported them. So it really hurts when you have your own stab you in the back, you know? So next we're going to talk a little bit about what we really enjoyed about this film. I really enjoyed the score. The soundtrack was off the chain. It was really for the people. And they gave you a little bit of everything. It was R&B, it was neo soul, it was like jazz, gospel, hardcore, hip hop. It was really for the people, really for the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the casting.
Like the casting?
Yeah, I appreciated their skin. The entire movie.
Oh my god.
Their skin was like glowing.
It was glowing. The love scenes. I mean, just like, all of that chocolatey goodness on skin. One of the things that stuck out to me, they had a scene where it finally kind of sunk into Slim that they was probably going down. He couldn't believe that his life was unraveling like this. And he was having like a little episode in Queen's Uncle Earl's bedroom. And while he's unraveling, Queen is having her twisted, what do you call them? Senegalese twists? She's unraveling them. And I mean, I think Jodie Turner-Smith is attractive anyway, but when she took all that off and she had her, you know, cut, I mean, she was just absolutely gorgeous. So for me, it was just like kind of seeing like all of the layers peeling off and like the true person coming out. I really enjoyed that.
I like the message they had. I like that it was a love story intertwined into this. Because Queen had a hard time talking about herself and her feelings, and they finally got to know what they wanted from one another, and they found it. Right. And like, I like the picture they took.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was very nice.
Yeah. One of the things that I liked about this movie is that even though Uncle Earl called them the Black Bonnie and Clyde, they weren't really Bonnie and Clyde at all. For all intents and purposes, they were just regular black people. They weren't felons, they weren't outlaws, they were just two black people out here trying to make it. They were just regular people.
Until the end.
And they just so happened to get caught up in some BS. So this could be any one of us out here.
That's,
you know?
what made it more touching, like, that you could connect with. Because anybody could go on Tinder and get on a date, and now you want to manhunt.
Right.
Like, how did I get here?
So was there anything else that you liked?
I liked how she did the scenes where they would be talking. But they would just be sitting there looking at the sky.
Yeah, that was dope.
Deep. I was like, man.
Yeah, that was dope. As far as anything else I liked about this film, there was a lot of comedic relief. Like, there were some parts that were really, really funny, and they were for the culture. Like, a lot of the jokes, I'm like, I wonder if everybody getting this, or is it going over their head, you know? Now we're going to talk a little bit about the things we didn't like about this film. Number one, you want me to go first? I didn't like the fact that there were times, we know that these characters are on the run, but they are doing a whole lot of stupid shit to kind of tie into this whole love story.
You didn't like that?
They was making a lot of unnecessary stops. They hanging out the damn side of the car. They taking walks with the mechanic's son out in the open. I'm like, do y'all want to get caught? So that I was just like, I mean, yeah, it's cute. It's part of the love story, but I'm like, y'all asking for it. So that was pissing me off.
I think they was only doing that because they finally came to the realization, like, we either gonna die. And then that's in the beginning they talked about
knew that they was
because that's what I'm saying. She was talking about how her client got the death penalty, and they was talking about how it's still legal in Ohio. She was, we gonna die anyway.
Anything else you didn't like?
I didn't like how they didn't talk about Queen and her mom.
That's another thing. We didn't get a great character development, and I think that that would have helped us connect to the characters a lot more. Queen had an interesting backstory. Her mother was killed by her uncle, Uncle Earl. It was an accident, but she had a lot to say, and I'm sure that she was a very complex character with many layers, and there was a reason why she was so cold, rigid. So I think some more character development with Queen, and especially with Slim. We know that Slim came from a good home, but that's kind of it.
The only thing we knew that he came from a good home was that the whole time. That's what another thing I didn't like. He just wouldn't like get over it.
He made some mistakes too.
Exactly. Calling. That's the only reason we knew he came from a good family. Because I thought he lived in the hood somewhere, and they just was close family. But you go to his house, and I'm like, my mama would never, ever.
I would never tell. But anyway, it would be nice to have had some more background to see why they chose to do what they did as far as going on the run. I think Queen knew the outcome, but I think Slim, being all religious, I think he probably had some more hope.
He wanted to stay. Remember?
Yeah.
He was like, nah, we're waiting for the police. I'm like, so they can kill you.
Right, he's so naive. And that's that Martin Luther King kind of thing coming out.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of naive with the way things work. So if you had to rate this out of 5 shots of Hennessy, how many shots would you give it?
I give it a 5.
You give it a 5?
Yeah.
I would give it, I give it a 4. I did like it. I really enjoyed it. But I would give it a 4.
But it's like we haven't had a movie like this for the culture.
That's true. It's kind of blackety black. It is blackety black. I'll give it another half a shot for the blackety blackness. So guys, thank you so much for watching our review of Queen and Slim. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can become a part of the notification gang. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Peace.